All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about our favorite toners. Go ahead and put in your chat bar now what your favorite toner is. Okay, I see 9P. Laura, you're gonna have to let me know what people are saying. What else? 9V. What else we got? Okay, 10V.
I can't see yet, Tara.
Oh, you can't see me? There we go.
No, I can see you. I just can't see what they're typing in just yet.
Yeah, we got 10N and 10N and 9V.
I just saw WG.
Yeah, and another one here is 9P plus 9V plus 9GI, I believe that is.
Ooh, you a mixologist, ain't you?
Yeah.
Look, so we got 9GI in there.
And I see.
Here. All right, and
you got it, Lori?
Wow. All right, guys. So, do you agree? There's a lot of toners popping up on here. Do you think there's a reason why we have our favorite toners? Yes or no? Yeah. So why do we use toners? Type it in right now. To balance, refine, counteract, customize color. You guys are all on the exact right page. So let's talk about toning, all right? Neutralizing, correct, add shine. That's exactly it. So those are the reasons why our clients come to us, because we can give them a balanced, beautiful end result with Shades EQ Gloss. But the thing is we need to know what's in our favorite toners to know how we're going to counteract what we're seeing and what those unwanted tones are. So, get this out of our way here. Let's talk about what we're exposing. So if we expose undertones, right? Those things that make you stay up late at night, the bright yellow colors, something like this. You guys ever exposed a color like that before? It's not pretty. And so we'll take out our favorite toner, something like 09V, for example. And we'll pick 09V because it's a complementary color. So a complementary color sits on the opposite side of the color wheel. If you agree, type yes. Yeah, so it sits on the opposite side of the color wheel. And why that's important to us as colorists is we need to know how to get rid of that yellow. So let's paint a picture. Let's think about our clients. Let's think about when they're sitting down in your chair and they're saying, I don't want yellow. And you highlight them and you're sweating. And then you look at the sink or maybe at your station after they've been dried, and this is what you see. So we get out our favorite handy dandy 09V and we put it over their hair, and we're left with something. We're left with what happens when you mix two different colors together. Because the thing is when you put the opposite color from the other side of the color wheel or your complementary color, you don't just completely erase the undertone, you get a byproduct of mixing the two together. So now let's take a look at what happens when I mixed the purple and the yellow. Look at the middle here. Do you think a client could perceive this color here in the center as warm or cool? What do you think? Warm. Everybody's typing warm, because what does this color look like to you or to the client but brown, right? Red, right? We're seeing all these things. It's like when you mix certain colors together, you get an end result that is simply just a byproduct of mixing the two things. Now, when you're choosing your color, sometimes you have to decide your toners based on what tones are actually in there. So say maybe you chose 10VV that has double the violet. Wow, that's a lot better. It's a lot cooler looking to the client's eye. Now, keep in mind, guys, these are cellophane papers. These aren't Shades EQ Gloss, but the idea that's here is how much of each tone is there. So have you ever heard from your clients, oh, well, I don't want my hair to look too dark? Yeah? Have you ever heard that before when it comes to toners? Well, that's why it's important to pick the right level. So everybody picture, I know you've been spending some time at your house lately. So picture if you were to have a banana and you were to peel that banana and you see the inside color of a banana. Or let's say you have the outside color of a banana. Which one's warmer in color? The outside of the banana or the inside of the banana? Okay, cool. The outside of the banana, right? So if the outside of the banana is way yellower, if you lifted someone's hair to something like the outside of banana, you're gonna want more likely choose a level 9 or even slightly deeper. Now, if you've lightened the hair to say the color of the inside of a banana, that's pale yellow. Everybody type in pale yellow. Pale yellow, right? So pale yellow. Now, pale yellow, you're going to be wanting to use one of our new 10 series colors. So very, very exciting. I'm going to be sharing with you shortly. Be ready to take a photo, but I'm going to be sharing with you shortly what our new 10 series colors are. And I know you're excited because I don't know what I did before my 10 series colors. Actually, I did, but hey, listen, whatever. It is what it is. So let's talk about this. Now, we've got this yellow. Sometimes you can choose a different color. You can choose a color that maybe has more cool tones to fix what you've exposed. Now, I want you to think about what you don't use, you leave behind. What you don't use, you leave behind. Repeat that at your house. What you don't use, you leave behind. So if I used a purple and that counteracted my yellow, I can use a color that has blue violet in it, and I'm going to have a lot more cooling tonality. Do you agree?
Mhm.
Yeah. So we've got colors that have blue violet in the background, right? We have colors such as the NA series, and I'm going to be writing some of our colors that what the background color is as well. We've got colors that have double blue, double violet. The first color you see is violet. The first color you see is blue. And we've got the new matte series that has blue ash. So let's write that down. All right, cool. Now, I saw a lot of people typing they wanted to know about the new matte series, which is amazing. So let's type in matte, also known as the M family. Now, there's a big difference between a color like the matte series, the violet or the V family, and also colors like the P family or pearl. Now, the difference is the background tone. Everybody say background tone in your chat bar. The background. Now, we've got 3 different options for the background of your colors. In the matte family, as well as N and quite a few other of our warmer tones, we have a brown to tan background color. So I'm just going to type brown to tan, or write it. I guess I'm not typing, am I? So then we've got the V family. Now, there's other families as well, such as the R family and a few other of our fashion shades that actually have 0 background. And what that means for you is that color is going to be the only thing you see. So in the violet family, if you pull the 010VV or you pull the 09V or 07V, all you'll be getting is violet because there's no background. Whereas if you choose a color like the matte family, and the matte family, the background is blue ash. So you've got your green and you have blue, right? Underneath that color, this is not simply what you're placing on the hair. You also have a base of brown behind that. The lighter you are in level, if you're closer to a 9, it's going to be more tan. The darker you are, the more brown it's going to be. So keep in mind, you need to know what's behind your colors. Okay, so now let's talk about the P family. Now in our Pearl family, also in our NA family, we have a background, and that background is, does anybody know what it is? Type it in. That's right.
Black
We've
to
got
gray.
black to gray. Amazing.
Yeah,
Great
they're
work.
getting it.
Black to gray. Now, when we're choosing these colors, we have to know, do we want something very warm or very cool? Because I love what the new matte series does. It gives a beautiful kind of earthy feel. Now, that earthy feel is because you do have the brown to tan in the background. It's kind of like the perfect way to get mushroom browns and mushroom blondes. Okay. We also have in the brown to tan background, we have the N series. So N is in Nancy. I'm going to write that down. As well as GB, GI. So we have a lot of our golden shades in there as well. Somebody also said WG. That has a brown to tan as well. So really consider what you have behind your color, because if you're using a color like N and you're mixing it with V, for example, you are adding brown, and violet. Now, that may be exactly what you want, but if you're going for the coolest end result, you may want to select something that has a black to gray background color. Is everybody with me so far? Give us a why. So I just saw a great question, Lori. I'm not sure if you saw that, but it said something about is the background color the same as undertone? That's a great question. So the background color isn't quite the same as undertone. Think of undertone as what you've exposed in the hair. The background of your color that you're selecting is kind of like an anchor. It's like the thing that keeps that color solid. Okay, so when you're selecting the color, it's really important to know if you want a warm, if you want a cool, and then the tone behind that. The tone is more the color like these here that you're seeing. Now, any Shades EQ litho chart or any charts, downloadable content that you did see in the waiting room slide, that information is available to you. So you can always see what there is behind every single color.
Hey, Tara.
Yes.
There's a great question. They said, like, would the background color act kind of like a filler at all?
Yeah, you know what? That's a really great question. And because it gives you a little bit of an anchor and stabilization, I'd say it could help provide safety. But if you need to fill the hair, everybody lean in, get close. You need to fill the hair.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. If somebody has white blonde and you're going dark brown, you got to fill the hair. Now, it will give you stabilization to your tone, so you're not only seeing blues and you're not only seeing violets on very pastel hair. So great question. Oh, I see another one here. Background for P is black to gray. But what is the undertone of P? Amazing, great question. So the undertone of P is actually blue violet. So amazing question. Now, the undertone of, say, an NA family is also blue violet. The difference is how much deeper that NA is, because it's almost like the pearl, because it's meant to be kind of iridescent and pearly and beautiful and platinum, isn't going to be as solid and deep and blue and violet as a natural ash, which is meant to deliver that very, very blue violet to counteract tones such as these that we don't like seeing, right? So great question. Amazing. So how do you guys feel about this information so far? If you're with me, give us a why.
Hey, Tara, another great question. I apologize you didn't get the name. I'm not reading that fast. My glasses aren't on high speed yet. So it said, would it fade faster if it didn't have background?
That's a great question. I think there's lots of things that can contribute to fading. And later on, Lori is going to talk to you a little bit more about how you can instill best practices with getting longevity in your color. But what we'll say is, you know, if you have controlled porosity, so if you've been taking great care of that hair, if you lifted the hair in a really safe manner and you're still having trouble with porosity, with fading out, I'd start to question where the person's porosity is. Did you apply it on dry hair? Did you leave it on for the full 20 minutes? So Lori's going to talk to us a little bit longer or a little bit more about that later, but that's a great question. Thank you.